Cheerio, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV today. The second annual WWE United Kingdom Championship Tournament took place earlier this week. I finally was able to get my eyes on the action that graced our eyes at the Royal Albert Hall, and we are here to bring the hammer down on the whole night's event right here and right now on the newest, fastest rising podcast in all of YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Radio, and Podbean, baby. Yeah, it's the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Let's do it. UK.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Nick Nightmare. Along with me, as always, is the world's greatest tag team, Thor, the wrestling god of thunder, the official sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, and my little buddy, my most trusted companion, and the world heavyweight champion of all the microphones in the whole entire universe, Mr. Blue the Snowball. Thank you guys for checking out the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show today. Woo-hoo, man. You know, when I got my eyes on the 3-hour event that was part 1 of the United Kingdom Championship Tournament, I can't help but think that the WWE is just so lost. How they are the premier organization in the world for professional wrestling, but they can't produce a show that comes anywhere near as close as what we got across the pond from these guys in the UK. Oh my God. You know, it makes me think that over in Japan and all these other regions of the world, they're all being influenced. The guys in these age brackets, they're coming up, they're being influenced by guys like Bret the Hitman Hart, guys like Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold and The Rock, Rey Mysterio, and then other talents from all over the world. And they've melded it together into this thing they want to call British Strong Style or Japanese Strong Style. You could put whatever label on it. All you need to know is I want more of it. And to me, when I watch a show like this, this is what WWE programming is supposed to look like on the regular. Vince McMahon and the WWE supposedly hate tournaments. Yet every time Triple H throws a tournament of this magnitude, it is an absolute must-see event. I didn't know anybody. I mean, you're familiar with a few names. We had Jack Gallagher and Drew Gulak, who we're all familiar with from the Cruiserweight Classic and 205 Live. We had some returning faces if you watched last year's. We had Jordan Devlin, we had Tucker, we had Joseph Connors, and we had Tyson T-Bone. All of them that I have seen before, thanks to the first edition of the UK Championship Tournament. But for the rest of the field, I've never seen any of them before. I've never been exposed to them before. I am a United States guy. I don't have reach to progress. I don't have time to watch wrestling from all over the world. I barely have time to watch what I need to watch to cover on this channel. So I have absolutely no point of reference for any of the men that I've seen compete tonight in part 1 of the UK Championship Tournament. We're not going to go over the preliminary rounds. Unfortunately, that's the one thing I will bring the hammer down on, and it's a WWE thing. It really has nothing to do with the tournament, but the fact that they did not have the preliminaries on the WWE Network, I mean, you want to debut it and premiere it on YouTube and social media and whatever, fine. You know, it's your prerogative, but at least dump it on the network when it's gone, so I don't have to sit here and watch it on my computer, and I can watch it on my TV as comfortably as I do with everything else. It should just be sitting there with the rest of this stuff. But you click night number 1 on the WWE Network for this year's UK Championship Tournament, and you get what really is night number 2, which starts off with the quarterfinals, leading to the semifinals, finishing off with a finals match that is not to even be believed. You have to see it yourself to believe it. It's very fitting that also on this night we would get the announcement from WWE and Triple H that NXT is establishing a foothold overseas, and we are now going to have NXT UK. It's its own division. They're going to have their own champions. They're going to have their own tag team division, their own women's division. It's going to be overseen by legendary British wrestler Johnny Saint. Forgive me, my UK fans, I don't know much about Johnny Saint, but from the reaction he got and the way that he's touted, and from what I've seen on the internet, Johnny Saint is pretty much the Bruno of Britain. So, props to that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do over there. I know it's not going to be as regular as we see NXT here in the States, but they announced a bunch of dates. I'm sure it's going to be filmed, and we are going to see some great, great stuff. And if tonight is any indication of that, you know that to be true. This UK show might even be better than NXT when all is said and done. That's how good this crop of talent is. I don't know where these guys came from. I don't really know much about them outside of what the WWE made us known in their little pre-match promos and stuff like that. But tonight's tournament was full of twists and turns. It had high drama factor, and it was very, very unpredictable. All of the check marks you want checked off on your tournament checklist when all is said and done. This was a near perfect show. Props to everybody that were involved. I love British wrestling. I want to see more of it. It feels more to me like actual wrestling than what I get all the time over here. I was taken back by this. I was absolutely floored by this event. Just like I remember being last year. Last year I wanted Pete Dunne to win the whole thing. He took my eyes right away. He just stood out to me, and I said, that's the guy. WWE knew that to be true, and they went a different route to crowning him to be our United Kingdom champion right now. And the United Kingdom Championship is on the line, as the winner of this tournament will be facing Pete Dunne on night 2, which I have yet to watch, and we will do the part 2 review separately from this one. I don't care how it performs. I'm doing this for you guys so that you guys know how I feel, and we're going to go over this show because it was freaking amazing. Absolutely amazing. Starting right off with the first match in the quarterfinals, which was Zack Gibson versus Jack Gallagher. Automatically, I thought Jack Gallagher had this. He had more name notoriety, and this was an amazing match. The difference in the size of these men was pretty much the story. The bigger, stronger Gibson was able to pretty much outlast the smaller Jack Gallagher, because Gallagher brought some fire with him to this match that I have yet to even see from him since his days in the Cruiserweight Classic. He doesn't even wrestle like this on 205 Live. Jack Gallagher is a damn superstar. He is a bona fide superstar. He's got a look. He's got a whole aura about him. He stands out. And I really thought he was going to win this match because Zack Gibson is not very, he doesn't jump off the page. You know what I mean? Like, you look at him and he just looks like your neighbor in wrestling trunks. They give him the worst song in the tournament, just like they gave to Tyler Bate last year. He had the worst song in the tournament. And Zack Gibson as well had the worst song in this whole entire tournament. But surprising to me, Zack Gibson would get the win over Jack Gallagher and advance to the next round in this tournament. It was a brutal match. Every single match tonight was so hard-hitting and was full of so much tremendous striking and just athleticism top-notch all the way around. It's one of those shows that I hate to even talk about because I can't just keep saying the same thing over and over. Every single match on this night was fantastic. And they really came out to shine. They took this platform and they delivered 110%. Just like Joe Coffey versus Dave Mastiff. Let me tell you something about Dave Mastiff. The minute I seen this man, I want to manage Dave Mastiff. He's just got Nick Nightmare written all over him, man. I see a talent like that, and the way he moves in the ring, much like a Bam Bam Bigelow, much like Killian Dane right now, and like we've been saying all week about Big Van Vader, he's a throwback to that old style of wrestler. And the things he was able to do in the ring with another guy almost his size in Joe Coffey. This was another guy that I have never really got to see before, but I have heard a lot about Joe Coffey on the independent scene. And when I watched the battle of these two behemoths, it definitely spit in the face of the old adage that two big men can't have a great match. They told a tremendous story. Joe Coffey took an absolute beating by the hands of this gigantic Dave Mastiff. He was absolutely impressive, and I wanted him to win this match. That would not be the case, as Joe Coffey would be able to fell the big man and move on in this tournament. Then we would get Jordan Devlin versus Flash Morgan Webster. I love the Modfather. Flash Morgan Webster is professional wrestling. This guy gets it. He's got a complete package about him. He's got a whole shtick that's all his own. He's an absolute original. He owns his character, and he's fantastic in the ring. I like Jordan Devlin as well. I like to call him Edge Balor, because he looks like if Adam Copeland and Finn Balor were scientifically fused together into one person, you get Jordan Devlin. I don't know why they're not going with the devil thing. You know, it's in his name. The British devil. The English devil. Oh, no, he's not from Britain. I'm sorry. He's the Irish devil. The Irish devil. Jordan Devlin. I apologize for that. I got all mixed up because we're in the UK and yous are all one big cluster over there, and I get yous all confused when I'm not paying attention to my notes, which is what I should have been doing. Flash Morgan Webster. I cannot talk enough about this guy. His in-ring athleticism was pulling out stuff that I've never seen before. I've forgotten more wrestling than most people have ever seen. And this guy was an absolute original. I loved his outfit. I loved the tights. He had a great song. And Nigel McGuinness just kept putting him over as a real deal guy. Mauro Ranallo was fantastic all night on the microphone. And especially in this match, he really made you believe that Flash Morgan Webster was this phenomenal thing that you were seeing. His reactions to the way this guy moved and just everything about this match was great. It was a little slow going at the start, but these guys finally kicked it up a notch towards the end, and Flash Morgan Webster would get the win over Jordan Devlin. He was here for redemption because he lost last year and he thought he was going to win this whole thing, but I guess you're going to have to sit back and wait and try next year. His 1 year long undefeated streak since losing in the UK Championship last year has finally come to an end at the hands of the flashiest of the flashy Flash Morgan Webster. Travis Banks, the Kiwi Buzzsaw versus Ashton Smith. Ashton Smith, to me, I look at him, he screams superstar, man. He was fantastic in the ring tonight as well, but Travis Banks was just one of many men who were completely 100% on their game tonight, and he was so impressive. His maneuvers and his moveset was absolutely something to see. These matches were fucking great, and Travis Banks would defeat Ashton and move on to the semi-final matchups where things just keep getting harder and better, and the striking just gets worse, and the matchups just get more and more intense. We were treated with a little bit of an intermission break as there was the women's division featured on this night. We had a triple threat with the winner getting a title shot at Shayna Baszler on night 2. Toni Storm versus Killer Kelly versus Isla Dawn. Now, my first thoughts here is I have no idea who these girls are other than Toni Storm, thanks to the Mae Young Classic. And right from the onset, I thought Toni Storm was going to win, and that is exactly what happened. But Killer Kelly and Isla Dawn definitely opened my eyes because the girls in the UK are doing wrestling better than the girls in the US. This match was intriguing. It had a nice pace to it. They eliminated Toni Storm from the action right on the onset of this match, and the two other girls, Killer Kelly and Isla Dawn, just pretty much were going at it, and Isla Dawn took a beating. Killer Kelly is exactly that. She's a killer. She's a scary-looking woman. She looks like she wants to eat your face. She was awesome. Toni Storm, however, would get the win. Like we said, she would come in towards the end of this match. She would hit the Storm Zero on Isla Dawn, gets a shot at Shayna Baszler on night 2, which I cannot wait to watch as soon as we finish filming this. And then we will film the review for that, and you will be here for that as well. Triple H comes out, like we talked about at the top of the show. He talked about the promise to give more to the UK. The UK Championship tournament competitors from last year were big names in the UK, and now they are big names all over the world thanks to the WWE and the exposure of the UK Championship Tournament. And as a result, we are getting the NXT UK brand being headed by Johnny Saint, and it's amazing. And I cannot wait for that to kick off. The second round of this tournament on this night would kick off as Flash Morgan Webster would go up against the lethal Zack Gibson. Once again, I'm going with Flash Morgan Webster. I don't see anything special in Zack Gibson aside from the crowd definitely having a good time with him. If you hate Zack Gibson, stand up. If you hate Gibson, stand up. I love the British crowd. You guys were killing it throughout this whole entire show. You had me standing up because I definitely did not find myself appealing towards Mr. Gibson. I didn't like it. And he would continue to make me hate him at the conclusion of this match. First of all, the beginning of this match was fantastic. Flash took control in a flash. He was moving like the Flash and was trying to get the advantage on the bigger man throughout the entirety of the opening of this match with a sense of urgency and a sense of intensity that you don't see on a WWE roster right now. It's just next level competition. Absolutely great. Gibson would hit the helter-skelter suplex on the ramp and absolutely obliterate Flash Morgan Webster. He would get back to the ring, just barely beating the 10 count, only to get locked into that armbar, Shankly Gates, or whatever, however you say it. If I say it wrong, I apologize. Submission hold, and he taps immediately. He taps literally like in 3 seconds. Boom. Just like the competitor in the previous round. Zack Gibson gets the win here. And I'm sitting here going, why is this guy going any further? I thought he was a one-and-doner for sure. And he's beaten 2 of the guys in this tournament right now that I was favoring to go all the way. So, Zack Gibson moves to the finals. Don't matter if you hate him, if you're standing up or you're sitting down. He's moving on. Travis Banks versus Joe Coffey. This match was absolutely amazing. Joe Coffey came out selling all the damage he took from Dave Mastiff. He definitely did not look like he was 100%. Travis Banks came to win this matchup because he would not let anything that Coffey hit him with end his night. He definitely proved in his performance in this match how important winning this match was to get that shot at Pete Dunne for tomorrow night. Travis Banks was fantastic. And he would get the win in this match. But the story here is not even that. The story is Joe Coffey flipping out. Maybe you need to get some decaf, bro. Because he snapped at the end of this match. Absolutely flipped his lid. Took out Travis Banks following this match. Totally ripping his arm to shreds. As he is going to go into the finals and face Zack Gibson. I was very upset at the way that match ended up, and that's how you're supposed to feel, because that was booked perfectly. Joe Coffey, even in the loss, comes out looking like a big bad monster. I thought he was another one that was going to go all the way, and he would end up going down to Banks. So now I'm thinking, there's got to be something special about this Travis Banks guy, because he's going up against Zack Gibson, and there's no way this Gibson guy is winning the finals. Then we have the 6-man tag, which stole the entire show. British Strong Style, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, and Trent Seven. 3 of my absolute most favorite people in all of England right now. Taking on Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and Roderick Strong, the Undisputed Era. This match was too good to talk about. It was so fast-paced and so much was going on, it was hard to even keep up as a viewer. I have to go back and watch it a second time to truly pick out every single thing that happened here. But there were a few moments of note, such as Tyler Bate at one point having the giant swing and airplane spin combo in the middle of that ring. He had Adam Cole on his shoulders, he had O'Reilly in his arms, and executed the spin, which made this an unbelievable sight to see. Something that you're not going to see every day, something you'll never see in a WWE show. It was fucking awesome. We saw Pete Dunne deliver an absolutely beautiful moonsault to the outside, taking out the Undisputed Era that was on the outside of the ring, and then Mustache Mountain on the inside of the ring would execute a Dragon Suplex Lariat combo onto Kyle O'Reilly and get the pin in a match that was just off the charts. You take that 6-man tag, which you could definitely put amongst one of the best matches of the year. It doesn't matter that it's a 6-man. You want to give a 6-man after 6-man match every single Monday and Tuesday, and you put the women in to make it different here and there, but nothing will ever come close to what we've seen here tonight. Even the NXT 6-man tags, that's the closest they'll get to anything you've seen in this match tonight. Absolutely unbelievable. They put the 6-man tag at NXT Chicago to shame. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The crowd was on its feet throughout the entirety of this match almost. They were at a fever pitch for the whole entire thing, and a standing ovation to the winning team of British Strong Style. An absolutely fantastic match. I can't say enough about it. Then for some reason we had HB Shizzle, old HBK, the Heartbreak Kid, come out with sporting his new little short hairdo, showing the world how he can't really move the way he used to. Came out just to plug the new NXT UK thing, I guess. Talk about how he was the first match for the WWE. He was in the first match that took place ever at the Royal Albert Hall underneath the WWE card, which is pretty cool. Shawn Michaels always making history, which is why he is in the Hall of Fame today. Then we got the finals match between Tyler Banks and Zack Gibson. My God. This match had no time limit. I really thought these guys were going to fight until the start of tomorrow's next show. I thought there was going to be no winner. This match was as hard-hitting and as intense as each and every match that came before it. Both of these men went through two of the most grueling matches you will see in wrestling all year, just leading up to this match, and neither man had any quit in them at all. The crowd was absolutely insane with every 3 count towards the end of this match. A few moments of note. Gibson does this tombstone into a codebreaker thing, which is absolutely vicious. Goes for a 2 count, Banks kicks out. They start to wrestle on the outside. Banks goes and does a springboard onto the guardrail. You know, there's no spring there, but he goes and springboards himself onto the guardrail and then off and delivers that very, very vicious slice of heaven. Savate-style kick. But to no avail. They both get themselves back into the ring. Open palm strike exchange, which was absolutely vicious. I wouldn't want to be part in that. Gibson gets caught in the Shankly Gates, but gets to the ropes. He is the first man on this night to get wrapped in that hold that did not tap immediately. He's sitting there with his arm taped up. He's all injured and shit, and he's wrapped up in this move, and he is not tapping. He made his way to the ropes. Nobody could even believe it. He would then get a second life as he, inside the ring, would hit that slice of heaven. I almost called it a shining wizard, but they hit the slice of heaven in the ring for a very close near fall. He then hit the Kiwi Crusher, his finishing maneuver on Zack Gibson, and everybody thought it was over, and Gibson kicked out again. Unbelievable. Gibson gets him in the ring again, executes a helter-skelter suplex, and then gets him wrapped up for the second time in the Shankly Gates and taps out, making Zack Gibson your winner. And he is going to move on and face Pete Dunne on night 2. And I have to go watch that, so we're not going to waste too much time more bullshitting about this. This was a fucking fantastic show. So damn good that part 2 is going to be even better. We are going to have a women's championship matchup for Toni Storm versus Shayna Baszler. We got Pete Dunne versus Zack Gibson. The only thing Zack Gibson right now proves to me is that, 1, he is a tough son of a bitch, and I would never want to be across the ring from Zack Gibson. And 2, if you pick the worst theme song in the United Kingdom Championship, you're gonna win. Last year, Tyler Bate came out to that awful theme song. He was the only superstar on the whole roster that had a terrible theme song, and he won. And the same thing happened here tonight, which is why I kind of talked about it briefly in the open and then kind of dropped it, because I didn't want to spoil anything for anybody who, I'm sure you watched it all and you already knew where I was going with that. Thank you guys all so much for being with me here for part 1 of our UK Championship tournament coverage. Part 2 coming at you guys tomorrow afternoon. We got a subscription box showdown, a very epic episode as we debut the World Heavyweight Championship belt that I created for my show, and the subscription box showdown will crown its first champion for the month of June later on this weekend. Make sure you get your eyeballs on that. Don't forget to check out all things WWE related. The Raw review is up and we tore that thing to pieces. The SmackDown Live review is up, and oh, hell no, I was not happy when it was all said and done, even though SmackDown Live was a very good show. If you missed any of those videos, make sure you go and check them out right now, just like I am going to sign off and check out part 2. And I will be back here with you guys to talk about it all. Thank you all so very, very much. Don't forget to smash that like button. Smash it nice and hard. Take your little sledgehammers at home, or if you're in Britain somewhere, take your teacup or take your whatever you're holding and smash it down. Break it up real good in the name of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Hit that motherfucking subscribe button. You know you want to, because you've been here throughout the entirety of the show and you know that it was pretty damn good, and you want to come back for more just like I do. Hit that subscribe button. Ring that notification bell to make sure that you'll be notified each and every time a video just like this one drops, so that you will not miss a thing. And then share this video with each and every one of your friends all over the wrestling world, whether they're from Australia, whether they're from New Zealand, or whether they're from the United Kingdom. Make sure they got their eyes right here on Sledgehammer TV, and they are part of the Sledgehammer Club. They are subscribed to the Sledgehammer TV YouTube channel, and they are not missing out on the premier wrestling show in all of YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean, baby. I make Podbean my bitch since she was with me first. That's my bottom bitch. You know what I'm saying? Me and Podbean, we go a long way. It's where it all began, and now we are here. And make sure you guys follow us on all of those audio platforms, as well as getting your eyeballs here. If you're listening to the show and you have not been part of the channel yet, get to Sledgehammer TV right now. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys all so very much. I am losing my voice. Who am I? My name is Nick Nightmare. With me, as always, is my tag team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the Wrestling God of Thunder, and the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. My little buddy, my most trusted companion, and the World Heavyweight Champion of Microphones, Blue the Snowball, decked out in the gold, as usual. Thank you all once again. This has been the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, right here on Sledgehammer TV. That is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you for part 2 later on this weekend, right here on Sledgehammer TV. NXT UK is going to take over the fucking world.
Sledgehammer.